everyone, before we dive in, quick favor. If you find this helpful, hit subscribe, give this episode a like and drop your next community medicine topic in the comments. It really helps us plan what you want to revise next. Today's focus is determinants of air pollution. We'll use an exam-friendly flow. Sources and classification, major pollutants, the epidemiological triad, health effects, measurement and monitoring, prevention and control, and finally India's programs and laws. With me is our community medicine expert, Dr. Joshi.
Thanks for having me. Let us begin at the roots, where pollutants come from and how we classify them.
Dr. Joshi, could you set up sources and classification of air pollutants?
Sure. Sources are natural or anthropogenic, that is, man-made. Natural sources include dust storms, sea spray, volcanic emissions, and wildfires. Anthropogenic sources dominate urban air, vehicular exhaust, industrial stacks, construction dust, brick kilns, open waste burning, diesel generator sets, and domestic fuel combustion, especially solid fuels like biomass and coal. Classification also matters. Primary pollutants are emitted directly, for example, carbon monoxide from incomplete combustion. Secondary pollutants form in the atmosphere by chemical reaction, for example, ozone from nitrogen oxides and volatile organic compounds under sunlight. Another useful lens is particle size. Coarse particles under 10 micrometers, PM10, and fine particles under 2.5 micrometers, PM2.5. Meteorology and topography then decide how long these pollutants linger.
Moving to major air pollutants, what should students name in Viva?
Start with gases. Sulfur dioxide from coal burning, nitrogen oxides, mainly nitrogen dioxide from vehicles and thermal power, carbon monoxide from incomplete combustion, ozone formed secondarily, ammonia from agricultural activities, and benzene, toluene, ethylbenzene, xylene from solvents and fuels. Among particles, emphasize PM10 and PM2.5. Fine fractions penetrate deeper and drive cardiovascular and respiratory risk. Lead persists around certain industries and older fuels. Also remember polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons from combustion.
Great. Let's map this to the epidemiological triad of air pollution.
Think agent, host, environment. In agent, the pollutants themselves, type, concentration, particle size, and duration of exposure. In host, age, children and the elderly are more vulnerable. Pre-existing disease, asthma, COPD, IHD, nutritional status, pregnancy, occupation, traffic police, street vendors, construction workers, and behaviors like smoking that add baseline airway inflammation. In environment, meteorology, temperature inversions trap pollutants close to ground, low wind speed, high humidity, and winter months worsen stagnation. Topography like valleys enhances accumulation. Urban form like street canyons, high traffic density also elevates exposure.
Case vignette. A 28-year-old pregnant woman living near a busy arterial road reports persistent cough and her smartwatch shows frequent poor air days. She asks what this means. How would you counsel her?
Explain the Air Quality Index or AQI as a color-coded score translating pollutant concentrations into health messaging. Poor means sensitive groups like pregnant women should limit prolonged outdoor activity, use masks with proper fit like N95 or P100 filtration when exposure is unavoidable, and keep windows closed during peak traffic hours. Also, indoor sources, incense, kerosene, biomass should be minimized. The Indian AQI uses sub-indices for 8 pollutants and categories from good to severe.
That segues perfectly into measurement and monitoring. What should students write about AQI and our national monitoring framework?
For exams, define AQI as a composite index converting measured pollutant concentrations into a single number and category with health advisory. Mention that sub-indices are computed for particulate matter, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, ozone, ammonia, and lead. The worst sub-index becomes the overall AQI score. India runs the National Air Quality Monitoring Program. National Air Quality Monitoring stations track pollutants to determine status and trends and compliance with standards. Increasingly, cities deploy continuous ambient air quality monitoring stations for real-time data.
Prevention and control next.
Use legislation, source control, environmental management, and personal protection. In legislative and planning measures, enforce emission standards for industries and vehicles, city clean air action plans, and episodic response plans during high pollution days. In the National Capital Region, the Graded Response Action Plan triggers staged actions like halting construction or restricting diesel generator sets when AQI crosses thresholds. In Control at Source for industrial type, fuel switching to cleaner fuels and electrification, stack height and flue gas desulfurization, low NOx burners, capture and control of fugitive dust, on-site monitoring with compliance audits. In Control at Source vehicular type, stricter tailpipe norms, for example, Bharat Stage 6, inspection and maintenance, scrapping of end-of-life vehicles, congestion pricing and parking policy, mass transit and last-mile connectivity, and dust suppression on roads. For area sources, mechanized road sweeping, paving shoulders, covering construction sites, and strict control of open burning of waste and crop residue with in-situ management and ex-situ straw utilization. For environmental management, green buffers along roads, urban planning to reduce street canyons, relocating high-emitting activities away from dense residential zones, and personal protections, masks with proper fit like N95 or P100, avoiding peak hours, indoor air purifiers with HEPA filters where indicated, and health system preparedness, peak flow monitoring and step-up therapy for asthma during smog episodes.
And finally, national programs and legislations in India. What are the must-mention points?
Start with the legal backbone. The Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981, National Ambient Air Quality Standards notified by the Central Pollution Control Board, the Commission for Air Quality Management in the National Capital Region and Adjoining Areas Act 2021. Important for stubble burning, construction dust, and episodic smog management. Then, the flagship initiative, National Clean Air Program, launched in 2019. Initially aimed to reduce particulate levels by 20 to 30% against 2017 baselines. Its target was revised to up to 40% reduction or achievement of national standards by 2025 to 26, covering 130 to 131 cities with performance-linked funding, city ranking under Swachh Vayu Sarvekshan, and annual goals like increasing good AQI days. Cite the official stance that city-specific targets and funds have been notified and disbursed via the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Also mention operational frameworks, Graded Response Action Plan in the NCR, and state-specific clean air action plans.
Before we wrap, exam application. If an examiner asks, why do winter months show spikes in particulate pollution in northern Indian cities, how would you frame it?
Start with the environment node. Temperature inversion, low mixing height, and calm winds reduce dispersion. Add source intensification, crop residue burning episodes, household heating, more diesel generator use during power deficits, and sustained vehicular traffic. Close the loop with the agent. Accumulation of PM 2.5 from combustion and secondary aerosol formation under stagnant air. Then suggest layered solutions. Pre-harvest residue management, enforcing construction dust controls, traffic management, and proactive activation of the graded plan as forecasts predict episodes.
That's a wrap. If this helped your exam prep, remember to subscribe, like, and tell us what topic you want next. See you in the next episode.